across the world, people are using AI to create wealth at a scale that's never been seen before. There's a modern age gold rush happening right now, and whether it's employees doubling their income, people launching apps that print money in their sleep, or trillion-dollar companies literally building giant AI laser cannons, someone, somewhere, is making loads of money. Today we're showing you how AI is making people rich at every level because these days, my friend, the world is moving faster than ever, and trust me, you do not want to get left behind here. Welcome to Alux, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. So, unless you've been living under a rock for the last 3 years, you've probably noticed that AI has reshaped nearly every aspect of our lives, right? What's been happening under the surface, though, is that it's making people insanely rich. I mean, just to give you a sense of how deep the AI gold rush goes, have you noticed how every new AI tool uses a .ai domain instead of .com? Well, the .ai country code belongs to Anguilla, a tiny island nation in the Caribbean, which has made millions selling domain names to all the new startups riding this wave. Pretty lucky, huh? It's a literal gold rush. So to give you a full picture of how this is happening, let's go level by level, from everyday workers to the companies building the backbone of tomorrow's economy. And we're gonna start off small here, okay? Because not everyone building wealth with AI is launching startups or training models. Some people are just doing their jobs, but better than they ever could before. Take someone working at a marketing agency, for example. Their job might involve coming up with ideas for ads, making presentations, and sending more emails than any person should be writing manually. But now, with ChatGPT, they can do all of that in seconds, and probably with better quality than they could do alone. This is what AI unlocks for the average person, just pure productivity. But here's the thing, okay? For 99% of people nowadays, this isn't a way to get rich. It's just what you have to do to keep your job. In this new economy, if you're doing the same work at the same speed as last year, you are already being left behind. Being good at your job isn't good enough anymore. AI has shifted the baseline because the person sitting next to you isn't working harder. They're working smarter and 5 times faster, and that is just the bare minimum. So if you're not plugging AI into your workflow, you're simply just, well, not relevant anymore. Now, on the other hand, the people who are using AI to do more than just the bare minimum, they've got a huge competitive advantage. Think about what a freelance web developer's workflow looked like just 2 years ago. If a client asked for a new feature, they'd have to sort through documentation, write the code from scratch, troubleshoot every bug, and test everything themselves. It could take days, sometimes weeks, just to ship a simple update. But now they can tell a coding tool like GitHub or Copilot what they need in plain language. It'll generate everything, and like magic, it'll just work. Instead of juggling 2 clients at a time, now they can handle 10 without sacrificing quality, all because they're using the tools that everyone else is still sleeping on. And that's the thing about AI. When you control your own income, whether you're a freelancer, a consultant, or a solo builder, it's not just a way to keep up, it's a way to scale your output, deliver more value, and make a ridiculous amount of money in the process. Now, of course, now that we've got godlike super intelligent chatbots that don't take breaks, don't complain, and have the answer to literally every single question you could ever come up with, there are much better ways to get rich than by adding a new button on a website. Most people, employees and freelancers, are using AI to either not get laid off or to be able to do more. But the people who are actually taking AI seriously, well, they're thinking bigger. Because once you understand what this technology can really do, you start to realize something. The AI gold rush is already changing everything at every level of the economy. And if you can be a part of that change, you can build wealth like no other time in history. So let's break down exactly how people are using AI to build real, scalable wealth, from solo creators to trillion-dollar corporations. So let's start off with the base of the pyramid, okay? The one-person business. You see, it might not seem like it, but some of the most profitable businesses in the AI economy are run by a single person who just happens to be using 10 tools that work like employees. This is where things get interesting, okay? Because AI isn't just helping you do your job faster. It's helping you to rethink how a business runs from top to bottom. Take a fitness coach, for example. A few years ago, they might have had a dozen clients, and every part of the business depended on them personally, answering emails, writing reports, chasing follow-ups, and manually onboarding every new client. But now? Well, on the marketing side, they use AI to generate personalized outreach emails, build full content calendars, write value-packed newsletters, and even repurpose long videos into dozens of short clips, ready for every platform. On the operations side, AI tracks client data in real time, flags issues before they happen, and auto-generates progress reports based on performance trends. It predicts which clients are falling off, what content drives the most engagement, or which offers are being converted the best. On the service delivery side, well, they've built an AI agent trained on their own knowledge base so clients can get their questions answered 24/7. Even client reports and progress updates are drafted and sent out automatically. The advantage used to belong to companies with money to hire people, but AI has erased that gap. It's not about staff or scale anymore, it's about stacking the right tools. This is the new model of entrepreneurship. One founder, 10 automations, infinite reach. The people who see that and build accordingly are unlocking leverage that most businesses still don't even realize exists. Now, one of these tools, the kind that lets a solo founder operate like a full-stacked business, is Weechick, the sponsor of today's video. Now, Weechick is an AI website builder, but calling it that doesn't really do it justice, okay? It's more like having a designer, a developer, and a data-driven media strategist all working for you 24/7. You just tell Weechick all about your business, and it builds you a clean, SEO-optimized, conversion-ready website in less than 60 seconds with no coding required. But what makes Weechick different from other tools is that it's the first one built from the ground up with AI, which means your website is literally alive. Weechick analyzes how people interact with your site and what's making you the most money, and based on that, it improves the layout, the structure, and the content all by itself. Meanwhile, you can just sit back and watch your ideas turn into income. It's like making money on autopilot. So if you're building something and you want to spend less time on web design and more time on growth, Weechick really is a no-brainer. And you can try it out for free today. All you have to do is click the top link in the description or go to weechick.ai/Alux right now. But moving on, okay? Let's shift away from people using AI tools to people building AI tools. Because as the old saying goes, during a gold rush, don't dig for gold, sell the shovels. So for a long time, the only way to make money in tech was to raise a bunch of money, hire a bunch of software engineers, and spend months, sometimes years, building a product from scratch. Today, though, people are doing something called vibe coding. So with tools like Cursor, Windsurf, or Lovable, you can just press record, start yapping, and literally build any app you can think of without writing a single line of code. A solo developer can build a tool that takes your YouTube video, transcribes it, cuts it into short-form clips, and automatically adds captions, emojis, and animations. A fitness coach could build a workout tracker that follows their specific training and nutrition philosophy. Or a financial advisor builds a tool that gives users a wealth score based on their income, savings, lifestyle, and habits. You don't need investors, okay? You don't need a team. You don't even need to know how to code. You just need to spot a problem, stitch together a solution, and ship it. The best part is, these are not complex businesses. They're single-purpose tools that solve narrow problems with ridiculous efficiency. They run themselves, and people are getting crazy rich by building them without hiring a single employee. Times really are changing. Now, the next tier we're going to talk about goes a level beyond vibe coding. It's where you're not just using AI to build your app, but building it into the entire foundation of your product. For example, startups like Rewind are building memory tools that actively record and organize everything you've ever seen, said, or heard on your computer and lets you search it, like Google for your brain. Companies like Runway are reinventing video production by letting creators generate complex visual effects and edits through simple text commands. Or again, these vibe coding tools like Cursor, Windsurf, or Lovable let you build apps in seconds. AI isn't necessarily how these products were built, it is the product. These companies are training their own models, collecting unique data. They're building the foundation that other businesses will soon depend on, which means they're setting the rules for how the rest of us will work, create, and interact in the future. These are the seeds of the next wave of tech giants, and because of this, investors are flooding in. So, those were the people selling the shovels in the gold rush, but what if you went one step further and sold the machines that make the shovels? Well, that's what this next tier is all about, okay? Not just building products that use AI, but building the AI that makes everything else possible. Think about Google, okay? They're building Gemini and baking it into everything. Docs, Sheets, Gmail, Search. They're turning their entire product suite into an intelligent assistant. Anthropic is building Claude to be a safer, more aligned model that excels in math and coding. And of course, OpenAI are the ones who started this entire revolution with ChatGPT. What 99% of people think of as AI is often just someone plugging into one of their base models. The Geminis, Claudes, and ChatGPTs of the world aren't solving niche problems like video editing or customer service. They're operating on an entirely different scale, building infrastructure, optimizing hardware, aligning models, and cutting billion-dollar licensing deals. They're creating general-purpose intelligence, and everyone else is building on top of it. If you think about the entire AI economy as a city, these companies are the electricity, and it doesn't matter what kind of building you put up. At the end of the day, you're still paying the power bill. That's why the money is pouring into this space like nothing we've ever seen before, because whoever controls the base model controls the entire ecosystem. All right. So far, we've talked about the tools, the startups, and the models. You'd think we've reached the peak by this point, but there's another layer on top of the AI economy that most people never even think about. The companies behind the companies. And these are the people who are making the most money from this AI gold rush. Think about it. Someone has to provide the computing power, run the factories, and design the chips that turn all of these ideas into reality. Behind the scenes, there are three main companies who, well, I mean, without them, there wouldn't be an AI revolution, and trust me, they are making bank, okay? So let's break it down. First, you've got ASML, a Dutch company with a monopoly on the most advanced machine in the world. Each one costs over $200 million, takes years to build, and relies on a global network of 5,000 suppliers just to function. It's called an ultraviolet lithography system, basically a giant laser that carves billions of transistors into chips that are only a few atoms wide. Those chips are what power AI, and here's the thing, okay? ASML is the only company in the world that knows how to make these lasers, so they can charge ludicrous amounts of money for them. Simply put, no ASML, no chips. No chips, no AI. Then comes the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC. Now, they are the world's most advanced chip maker, so they're actually ASML's biggest client. But they don't invent the chips themselves. Instead, they focus on mass producing them for Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, Google, all of the heavyweights. And nobody is as good as them. Every time a company needs the world's most powerful silicon, they come to TSMC. In the gold rush, ASML makes the equipment. TSMC runs the mine, and it's the most profitable mine in tech. In 2024 alone, TSMC cleared over $35 billion in profit because there is no backup plan, okay? If they stop, the entire industry shuts down. And finally, there's the company you've actually heard of, okay? Nvidia. They started out by building GPUs for gamers. But in those chips was something even more valuable, the ability to process massive amounts of data in parallel. Turns out, that's exactly what companies like OpenAI need to build their models. Today, Nvidia basically owns the computer layer of AI. Their chips, like the H100, are the backbone of modern AI training. ChatGPT, trained on Nvidia. Google, Nvidia. Meta, Nvidia. Musk's new Grok 3, trained on 200,000 plus Nvidia chips on a single run. Nvidia's market cap recently crossed $3 trillion, not because of video gamers, but because the fact of the matter is that everyone else needs their chips to be a part of the future. So ASML owns the light that etches the chips. TSMC owns the factories that scale them, and Nvidia owns the power that runs the entire system. These companies aren't just part of the infrastructure, okay, they are the infrastructure. In the AI gold rush, everyone is chasing gold, but the ones making the real money aren't digging or even selling shovels. They're literally building the ground you're digging on. So while everyone else battles it out on the surface, these three are collecting their share no matter who wins. That is how AI is making people rich. It's crazy how fast things are changing though, right? So we hope this video gives you a good perspective on the new AI economy and where things are headed soon. Remember, my friend, if you want to level up your mind and live a healthier, wealthier lifestyle, you can also check out the Alux app by scanning this QR code on screen right now. Hundreds of thousands of people have already started changing their lives with it, and we're pretty confident it'll change yours too. With that said, we'll see you back here next time, Aluxer. Until then, take care, my friend.